How's it going, Pisces community? Soul Tigress here with a special story for this wonderful frequency. So let's go ahead and get started with the vibe and dishing out these introduction cards. So Pisces, what is spoken in the vibe here for you is understanding that sometimes we can self-sacrifice our future, our goals, our ambitions for others who choose to be stuck, others who choose not to accept your help, your guidance, or even your love. This is something that could be very, very hard for us, especially when we're very, very passionate for the people or the particular relationships that we have around us. Knowing when to get up, knowing when to go, knowing when to read between the energetic lines of things, Pisces. Knowing when the divine is trying to communicate a truth to you. Oh my goodness. And as I said that last part, this is what came out. Learn the truth. Learn the truth also landed on rebirth. So a part of learning the truth to things could help you step out in a way that you haven't stepped before. But first, this is going to come at the expense of learning what you need to learn from with the relationships around you. This can be very, very, very confusing for many people. Many people who try and hold on to things that are not meant to be held on to. What we can do is practice mindfulness throughout this journey or this part of the journey. Being able to create a space of sanctuary within us, opposed to creating another battle zone. Ooh. Something else that we're not seeing is passion. I really like this because as I was cleansing the cards right before I started shuffling for the cleanse, this is what I had seen at the bottom of the deck. Passions. Let your passions lead the way, but do not let people use your passions against you to boost themselves. That could be very draining and that could be very unfulfilling. That is something that can hold you back from where you want to go, the dreams that you have for your future. Right now, you're having a problem with success. You're having a problem seeing your success. You're having a problem opening up to you being the shooting star in this universe. A shooting star that is a rarity. A shooting star that stops and makes people look at something a little bit differently. That makes people think a little bit differently once they come across it. Think about it. It's always a magical moment when you see a shooting star. A lot of times you try and come into people's lives as this magical being who wants to help, who wants to soothe, who wants to heal. And that could be hard when you're faced with crowds or individuals who don't want to do that. That is something that is very, very hard for us. Something that you don't see is protection. Sometimes walking away or walking towards yourself is a means of protection. You don't always have to self-sacrifice who you are, your future, the things that you dream about for others. Waiting for others to catch up, waiting for others to want to walk with you. I'm hearing to say concealment. Sometimes to figure out why we choose to stay stuck in a spot means us taking off the different layers that we conceal the truth with. What is it that has you there? What has you self-sacrificing so much for this group, for these individuals, for this place, or for this thing? Sometimes it means that we have to take off one thing at a time to understand what it is that ties us to this place, that makes us put on so much of an act just for them or for it. That's something that can be really, really hard, Pisces, especially when you're very passionate about others. And that's one thing that I know about Piscean energies. They're go-getters, they're extroverts, and they really, really care about the relationships around them. They really care about the group. And that's not a bad thing, because not everybody could be, say, like a Sagittarius, where they just say, forget everyone, and they go off on their own. No, you need people of opposition, like Pisces, who want to care for the crowd, who want to help the crowd, who want to see the crowd, which could be their friends, which could be their co-workers, which could be their family members, do better. And they want to help them do better. We need people like that, but we also need those same individuals to know when it's time to get up, when it's time to say enough is enough, and to start to lead a different example, opposed to shrieking away in the crowd. So let's keep moving on to the present. What needs to come out for the present for the Pisces? There's a lot of trickery around you. There's a big facade. It could be that you're feeling like people are playing tricks on you, or maybe you feel like your mind is playing tricks on you. Your emotions are playing tricks on you. It's something that's hard, but from what I see that just came out, it has to do with deceit, lies, tricks, things that are not being brought to the light when it comes to what others' intentions, what others' ambitions are. And that is something that could be very, very hard for you to understand, Pisces. Why do you keep hurting me the way that you keep hurting me? Why don't you understand when you keep going towards the things that you're going towards and I'm trying to help you? It hurts. Think about somebody that you love. Think about how that person keeps going to the things that keep hurting them, the things that don't treat them right. And think about how you suffer for that, how you're willing to self-sacrifice your peace for them. And this is what this talks about here in the mind with the Nine of Swords. Your peace being disturbed because there's something that's always going on in the mind. And it has to do with the depression of things, how things are working out, and how this makes you feel emotionally on your own. You will have individuals, you'll have places, you'll have communities that don't seem to understand how much you care. They don't seem to understand how much you self-sacrifice for them. They don't seem to understand how much you suffer because of the choices that they're making, the choices that are hurting them, the choices that are no good for them, the choices that are leading them into a dark place. But the thing is, Pisces, you have to be very careful when you keep allowing this stuff to happen over and over, because you do not want to confront the conflicts here, especially when it comes to the things that you feel like you're stuck in between, the things that you can't change, the things that make you feel like you are robbed of everything that you have been working for. These very things, these very emotions that you keep stewed within you don't help. They don't help your mental side, your mental being. They don't help your emotional being. It's actually weighs really, really heavily in on your health. Could make you even feel a little crazy at times because of how much you want to show people, how much you want to be there for them, how much you want to trailblaze a new way for them. But instead, you look like the crazy one who could bring chaos in, even though this chaos is geared through love, through trying to light a candle in their dark space. This gets really hard, but a part of the protection is really taking a step back and looking at the view of things, not just for the dark side, not just from the worries, the things that scare you, the things that have you fearing for this other or these others, but from a more divinity type of view. See how you have those dark spaces, but still see how we have this nectar of life, this nectar of knowledge that flows towards us. Even though there's dark, there is still plenty of light. Why? Because you have taken yourself to this type of place through your beliefs. You see it, and this is why it's important for you emotionally to want to help shed light into these dark places for these others. And that is something that is really hard for you. But knowing when and what to focus on, when to take a step back, when to step in, when to step out, when to step to the left, when to step to the right, when to step forward, when to step back. Because this is a dance that we do throughout our lives with different types of energies around us when it comes to the different things that we come into conflict with. Are you going to choose to dance with their inner demons, or are you going to choose to dance with divinity, trusting in the flow of things when it comes to overcoming the dark side of things through your beliefs? It's hard. It is really hard because you want to hold on to so much. You want to provide so much. And that is being a nurturer. Somebody who is there for others. Somebody who makes sure others are fed and taken care of. Like I said, you have an important role. Every single sign has an important role. Even if you're a people person, even if you're not a people person, an extrovert or an introvert, just remember that. But remember, we learn a lot about ourselves through the different people we run into, or even the different people who walk beside us for so long of our paths. This could be mothers, this could be aunts, this could be grandmothers, this could be fathers, this could be sons, this could be uncles, this could be cousins, this could be daughters, this could be managers, this could be something that has to do with the community. Where your place is within this community is a place where you want to hold light up in these dark spaces, the spaces where these others get lost. Let's continue. Part of your passion is creating healthy environments for others. This has been something that you have been journeying to since you were younger, because this is a part of the things that you are very, very passionate about. You're still passionate about. This is where you are motivated to move when it comes to your future, when you think about the futures with others around you. But the thing is, when it comes to the future and this concealment, there's a lot here. With this future, there's something here that you feel always robs you robs you, and it has to do with somebody who's very greedy. Somebody who makes you feel greedy too. Somebody who is well taken care of in their own realm, but for some reason you feel like you have to help them even more. This person could be stuck not knowing how to create their own movement, stuck not knowing how to not have their back to the divine, not knowing how to turn around and head in a different direction. This person could be erratic. This person could drive you to want to be erratic, but at the end of the day, there's a lot of emotional immaturity here from this person. And this is a big deal for you. This is something that really weighs heavy in your emotions. This is something that can drown you out at times and make you feel defeated. Putting out your inner light as well when it comes to how you see things, especially the future with this other. You're wanting to save them, but they don't want to be saved. That could be very hard too. That is very hard. A lot of times that is a story of somebody who's very passionate for another, whether it's a lover, whether it's a parent, whether it's a child, whether it's a friend. All right, so let's call in the angels of protection. Angels of protection, please help guide us and keep us protected as we navigate the block here for the Pisces community. There's a lot that wants to come out, Pisces. You definitely have a lot built up, even since a younger age, or towards this person who could be younger or they act really young. They're very immature type of thing. So let's start unpacking it. You only see things from one view when it comes to how you look at this person. And I really feel like you really see them as not being able to accomplish things, not being able to go towards things that are of good matching energy. But the thing is, they are going to the things that match them, even though you don't feel like it's a good match for them. There's a lot built up here. Now, either this is for you or this is for them when it comes to this younger age. It could be for you, and it could be how you believe in things. It could be that you need to bring in a new belief about things when it comes to the things that you create, the magical things that you create. And that's that magical future, how you see your future, how you see your past, but also how you see the present as well, because there could be something here that you're really hard on yourself about. You keep going backwards when you think you're going forward when it comes to this particular person. Like I said, this person has you very built up, and what I see is like all this stuff is kind of going chaotic. The dials are going every which way, and you don't know what to do. You keep trying to reach into the past. You keep trying to reach into the present. You keep trying to reach into the future, trying to find the answers that you need for this. And I think this is where the mindfulness comes in, to drown you back into the present moment of right now. When you find yourself becoming overstimulated, when you find yourself becoming frantic, when you find yourself wanting to hold on to something, that's when it's meant to be let go. And a lot of times it's hard, but maybe bringing prayer in and giving this to the divine, surrendering this burden to the divine and asking the divine's guidance, asking your guides guidance to help you navigate this. especially when you're feeling really defensive about it, when you want to take up arms and you want to go and make things turn out the way you want it to turn out, because it makes you feel a type of way. It pulls at how you feel about your success. It pulls at how you look at things, how you let these things that you look at stop you from moving forward, because you're trying to self-blame. You're trying to find a reason why it's your fault it's working out that way. And that's what puts you further away from higher beliefs of things in this situation. This is why you have such a hard time letting it go, and why you feel like you need to control things, over dominate things. I love how this worked out with the Emperor coming in. The Emperor is all about Mars and Aries energy. And back in the day, before Pluto was discovered, it was also about Scorpio energy. You have quite a bit of Mars energy here right now in this story, talking about the very conflicts that you have with the things that is really hard for you to let go, and how you try to over dominate those things to try and help it or get it to work out in the best interest for others. Ooh, that is hard. That is hard. This is why it's pulling at your health so much. And here comes that Six of Swords. Not knowing which way to, or actually Nine of Swords again. Excuse me. The Nine of Swords. This is a nightmare that replays in your mind even though you don't know it. It's something like the King of Cups in the original tarot. It's something that you hold on to. It's something that you focus in on so much, and it makes it hard for you to focus anywhere else. Even though you have wisdom, you have this maturity about you where you've been through so much, but it's hard to let this go. It's hard to surrender it. It's hard, again, to ask for guidance. You figure if you keep over harboring on it, that maybe you can find a solution that will create balance for this other, but it's only taking you deeper into the depths of their shadow side. And something that we have here is now we go to the Hangman. So we went from the Piscean move, where we need to create movement, to the Hangman, where we're stuck because we can't solve somebody else's problem. That's hard. That is hard. With the World card here, this is Capricorn energy. These are things that we seek security about. There's something here that you seek security about this person. Maybe if they change up what they're doing, you will find some kind of personal success when it comes to the contract with this person. But the more that you see the conflict, the more that you have to deal with the conflicts of this person, the more it makes you feel like you're not as successful. I think this talks about how earlier we were talking about how we can deem our success based on others, how we can also start to go in and try and help people, but then we end up taking on their burdens, their shadow side, I'm hearing to say, even though they are not wanting to walk through it to get to where they need to be to find the light. This is really hard because in a sense you want to live your life for somebody else, trying to find somebody else's successes, but you are driving yourself crazy at the same time because you cannot live somebody's life for them. And I honestly, this really fits with the dream that I've had, Pisces. I don't know if I've ever shared my dreams with you. I know there for a while, a lot of last year Libra was correlating with my dreams, but today I had a dream that I was looking for somebody particular, in this house. And there was a lot of people there, but it wasn't too many to where you couldn't find somebody. And I kept calling their name, and I kept calling their name. I'm like, where are they? Where are they? That I couldn't focus on the environment. I couldn't focus on the different people that were there. And this was all done in a night setting. So what I've also determined is when my dreams are at night, this is me navigating my shadow side. When my dreams are during the day, this is me navigating the light side. So here I call this person, and they only call back to me one time. And I can't find them. I can't find them. And it's time for us to go. It's time for us to leave this place. It's time for us, the group, whoever, to move on. And everybody is getting on these yellow fire trucks. I don't know why these fire trucks were yellow. And there was one person that I seen that I knew that was getting on these trucks. And I myself was supposed to get on these trucks because it was my time to move forward. And to me, the yellow stands for Leo energy. It stands for sun energy. This is your free will. This is your strength. This is following the guidance that's coming in to take you to another spot where you're meant to go, a different phase in your journey. And what did I do? I got on the truck like I was supposed to. It started to move. But I couldn't let go of that individual who didn't want me to find them. So instead, I jumped off the truck and did a tuck and roll. And I got up, and I'm watching the trucks go. And I'm watching the place that we just came from. And I told myself, I'm going to figure out how to get back in there. And I'm going to figure out how to find this person that didn't want to be found. You have to ask yourself, Pisces, are you self-sacrificing for somebody who doesn't want to be found when it comes to a spiritual type of thing? Somebody who wants to stay stuck in these depths, in this enclosure, in this space, because they choose to be there. Also, because they choose not to do the work to get to the next phase in their life. Are you really, really, really ready to give up things that are meant for you in your future for a person who's not even working towards their future? This is something here for you to ponder about, Pisces. All right, so let's go ahead and call in divine, and universal energy. What are the positive messages here that you have for the Pisces community? Where is it? There it is. All righty. So when it comes to the past, we have a hunger here. You have led yourself through many dark nights. And what I'm hearing to say is many dark days. Through sheer belief, through sheer crying out to the divine at times when it was tough. Don't forget all the work it has taken for you to get to this point, especially when it comes to moving through the deceit, through the misalignments that you've had with others, those others who caused you to become over dominant in your environment as a means to protect the things that you care about. Don't forget that, because you're one badass individual. Don't forget that you have been grinding the whole time to get to places that you were guided to, the places that you could only get to by holding on to faith. Think about that. Even when you weren't high in your spirituality, you still believed. You still had faith. This is how you've been able to get to the present moment of growth. Even though when you look at things, especially when it comes down to this individual, it doesn't feel like you've grown. That's because you're putting your light out for them, for their success. Even though their success is not your success, has nothing to do with it, because they have their free will. They choose to stay stuck. If they choose to run from the guidance, that's on them. That has nothing to do with you. Because think about your journey, the dark days, the dark nights that you've been through, that you had to keep moving, where there wasn't somebody there to rescue you. But yet you want to be there to rescue them. Sometimes we want to save people, but they have to save themselves. Something here as well as beginnings. The beginnings of understanding the value of peace. Your inner peace. That peace that you get when you become aligned with trust. Trusting the journey, trusting the divine. The divine has blessed you with this person in your life for a reason, to help you find something that you were meant to find through this relationship when you have this rebirth, Pisces. Don't forget that. A lot of our lessons, a lot of our tough lessons come at the expense of others bringing something into our lives. And the whole thing is, it's time to take pleasure in the mindset that you have, the different things that you've been able to explore, develop, conquer, but also progress through to get you to the future of now, since your past. The many things that have been brought to you, even now with this person, that weighs you down is the very thing that's going to help build your resilience, especially when it comes to relationships. It's going to help you balance out the different phases that we will deal with people, the people that we love. Also, it will help strengthen our discernment. When to care and when not to care. I'm not saying when to have a heart and when not to be heartless, but there's a time and a place when we need to overly care about things, but there is also a time and a place when we need to let it go, and we need to let that individual live their life and do their thing, because again, we can't live their life for them. And our last card here is the Void. A lot of times, Pisces, when we've been through the thick of it, we want to save others from it. The reason why you're so willing to go back to the dark place, the voids of things, because you have found a way to get through them. You're not scared to go back for these others, because again, you know how to take them out of there. But the thing is, having that discernment is the key, because not everybody wants to be led out, even though you are passionate about it, even though through the deceit of things you are still willing to save somebody. But it's the thing that's driving you crazy. And this is why you need to bring balance to the things that you are hung up on. When it comes to this individual, this is why it's important for you to take off the many layers that you have concealed yourself with, to sacrifice. Find these reasons to sacrifice for others, the others that you care about, the others who depress you over their choices. The thing is, you've been guided to this to help give you a rebirth. A rebirth in understanding when it's time to let go, when it's time to move forward, when it's time to move on. Not because you are heartless. But because you are creating mindfulness in that moment, you are creating mindfulness so that you can have your peace. And that peace deserves to be protected. And a lot of times we have to take time to take a different view, especially assessing where somebody's at. If somebody's choosing to be in their shadow side because they want to be there. And that's how we create a balance for ourselves. But that's also how we can give this individual, this situation, this contract that we have, the means to have room for it to do what it's meant to do, opposed to us holding on to it, over focusing on it, trying to carry this burden everywhere we go. That bigger view is what's needed. Letting go of trying to over-dominate, over-control it, because we want to create something beautiful for it. That's not going to happen here. That's all up to that person. The biggest thing is to surrender it, to pray for it, to pray about it, but also to give it to the divine. Let the divine work it. Let the divine lead you through this, because you've been through many different things. This is something here that you are meant to learn through this individual, that no other individual in your life, on your path, could bring this lesson towards you so far. It had to happen with this particular person that you're dealing with. Have faith. Have trust. Keep moving forward through divinity, even though this is driving you nuts, even though you not being able to solve it for whoever, whatever that you care for the most. It's okay. It is okay, because what's meant to happen will happen. And what happens does not attribute to your success, because that is a part of that other person's journey. What attributes to your success is how you handle it, how you move through it, and how much you can trust in the divine to help get you through it. All right, Pisces. This is going to conclude it. Thank you so much for your time, your energy, and your patience. And as always, don't forget to thank your angels, ancestors, spirit guides, as well as divine and universal energy for coming on in and helping out. And I hope that you have a most wonderful rest of your day.